Awesome. Hello, Limor. Yeah,
Hi.
my name is JP Corain. I'm going to be a freshman next school year, and I lead a hack club at my school in Lafayette, Colorado.
Awesome.
But yeah, thank you so much for speaking with me. When you were starting out at Adafruit, how did you structure staff and kind of grow as you built the company? Because I noticed Adafruit's culture, as was said earlier, really supports activism and you give people who vote paid time off. I was wondering how you kind of built and grew the community the way you did.
Yeah. Well, one interesting thing is, I know a lot of folks in the Hack Club are interested in entrepreneurship and running companies and building a company. And I think one of the best things I read when I was starting Adafruit, and I went to the library and I took out some books from Nolo. They're a publisher that publishes books basically on how to legally structure a business. And basically said, look, you got to pay your payroll on time and you have to pay taxes, but everything else is up to you. There's actually no rules. I mean, once you get to 50 people, there are certain very reasonable rules about the kind of the way you hire people and the way you give time off and stuff. But for the most part, as you're starting, especially when you're 5 to 10 people, there's really no rules, which means you get to kind of build the company you want. And, I do talk a lot about things that happened when I was a teenager, just to give you a sense. When I was a teenager, there was late teenager, it was kind of the beginning of this .com boom. And the .com boom was kind of bonkers because basically everybody started dropping out of college and was I'm going to start a business and it's going to be I'm going to sell pet food online. I'm going to be a billionaire. And some people actually did become billionaires, which is really weird. But what happened is that there was a lot of people who started companies and they really rushed into it. And they also, they structured the company based on what their investors said to do. And there's nothing wrong with that, but investors don't always have your best interest at heart. They're interested in the big game. They're you're the, whether you make it really large and they get their money back. They're not kind of personally invested in your values and what you want to do as a company. And so luckily Adafruit does not have any venture funding or angel investment. I'm not against it, but we don't at this time. But what that means is I'm the 100% sole owner. And so I can make decisions we're going to have Juneteenth be a paid holiday. We're going to have Martin Luther King Day be a paid holiday. We're going to have paid time for voting or volunteering at the polls. These are not things that are legally required when you run a business. And honestly, if you ask investors, they might be well, why would you okay, maybe if it retains talent, but you have to think of not just retaining talent, but what kind of values you want to embody in your business. And that's really important. And some people may not agree with me. Some people have totally different ideas of what their value is for a business. But I think talk to your friends who have companies or work in companies and say, what makes you feel good about the company and what doesn't? And then you can take all that advice and structure the business the way you want.